Hello and welcome to the Clear Gospel Podcast. I'm Austin.
I'm Aubrey.
We are married with two beautiful children. On this show, we desire to share the message of everlasting life with people around us. It is easy,
Free.
and clear.
In this episode, we will talk about our marriage story. Thank you so much for listening.
Alright, today we're going to switch it up a little bit. Instead of diving straight into a biblical topic, we are taking you back to where it all started, our story, how we met, how we knew it was real, and some of the stuff we had to work through early on. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water, because this one's going to be a fun one. So, Aubrey, how did we first meet each other?
We met at a summer camp that we were working at,
Right.
a Christian summer camp.
And if I've remembered this experience, there's a mutual friend of ours at the camp that heard that we both were from similar areas.
Yeah.
And she connected us in the middle of the field.
She introduced us.
Yeah.
And we had a very short, kind of awkward conversation. I can't remember a lot of it, to be honest.
All I remember is you did not say much. You were very shy at first.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said, but...
I take a bit to open up sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyway, after we met in the field, we started texting each other back and forth.
Yeah.
And that continued into the fall, and you had mentioned going to coffee,
Yeah,
right?
just not necessarily a date, just to get to know you event.
Yeah. Well...
Yeah, how long did that take?
It took a while. So I
Yeah.
think you mentioned that in October, and I kind of ignored it because at the time I had a boundary that I wasn't going to meet one-on-one with guys.
Which is fair.
But I eventually made an exception for you whenever... So it was Christmas break, and I knew that you were in your hometown. I was in my hometown, which are not that far apart. And you had mentioned getting coffee. And I don't know, something just changed my mind.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it was God prodding me.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, go get this guy.
Yeah, your text reply back, yeah, I would love to, just kind of threw me off, because I forgot to even, sent that message a while back, and then, of course, we met up in, we talked for hours and hours at a really good coffee shop, so we knew at that point, something was there.
Yeah, and then we started dating. We dated for about a year.
About a year.
And we're going to kind of skip forward to engagement because that's when things started to get a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So what happened during the week that we got engaged?
So that Monday is when I got my first job offer, and I ended up accepting it. That Wednesday was my birthday, and it was also the day I strategically planned to ask you to marry me.
And I said yes, obviously.
Great birthday gift. And that Friday was the day I graduated from college.
And then after that Friday, that weekend, we found a venue. And then a couple of days after that, we found an apartment. So it was a crazy week and a half, and most of those things happened in different towns as well. So there was a lot of travel involved.
Yeah, it was wild.
Very wild. And then after we got engaged, we had 4 months to plan our wedding. We were aiming for a 6-month engagement, but my sister was pregnant at the time, and she was my maid of honor. So I wanted to respect her and make sure that she was there at the wedding. And so we decided to get married sooner rather than later. And honestly, I don't regret that at all, because I think God ordered it that way, because what happened whenever we got married?
So little did we know, looking forward now, we didn't know this, but at the time, I just felt like life just took us for a whirlwind. I was thinking about this earlier before we started the podcast, but I felt like this was the hardest time in my life up until this point. I don't feel like my childhood was great, college was fine, but this point in life, I just felt like I was stuck. I just felt like everything that life threw at us, it just felt very overwhelming. So overwhelming. I remember one specific Sunday, we went to church, and I'll be honest, like, I could not make it through the service. I kind of leaned over to Aubrey and I told her, like, hey, we just need to go. I'm just not feeling good. I'm very worried, anxious, whatever the words to fill in the way I felt. And we went home. I just had to lay on the couch. I just was not feeling good. And this is before we had kids, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I took off the next day. I just needed time just to process, be in God's Word. And it was just, I don't know, just a really difficult season of life. And we knew moving to this area that it was going to be temporary, but we didn't realize the troubles it would bring.
Yeah, we didn't. And then on top of that, we moved like 6 months after being in that apartment because it was not a great place to live. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it was not a good living experience.
But we moved to a better place.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. But on top of the hard things that we went through, we did have a lot of fun adventures that we went on.
So that first year, I remember on spring break, we went to Big Bend National Park.
Mm-hmm. We tent camped.
We straight tent camped, and I cooked chili on a fire. Mm-hmm. So that was great. And then we also went to, was it Fredericksburg?
Yeah, but first we went to Colorado for a wedding.
Right.
We went with my family there, and that was a very fun trip. And then, Fredericksburg. Fredericksburg was the last big adventure that we went on before I got pregnant.
So tell us about that a little bit.
About me getting pregnant?
Mm-hmm. What was that just phase of life? What was that like for us?
It was hard. I was still in school, and I was kind of unsure of the timing of it all, but so you had a hard season, then I had a hard season, kind of back to back.
And it makes sense just because I felt like when we first found out about our first kid, it was just the unknown, not really knowing exactly, like, is this the right timing? And obviously God's timing is better than our timing. His will is better than our will. And it just felt very overwhelming just with, not us choosing certain things. But we ended up obviously loving our kids. They were a blessing. But at the moment, you trying to finish up school, us trying to figure out what marriage is supposed to look like and be like, just being in a whole new city away from family. They were hours and hours away. It was just a lot.
It really was. So what were some verses that got you through this season?
First one that really just comes to mind in the book of James, at the very beginning, the author says, my brethren, talking about believers, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience, but let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And just to be honest, like, this verse, I don't know, just gave me hope that that as, like, believers, we are going to go through various trials. And the outcome of this, produced a lot of things. It made me closer to God, because I'll be honest, like, during this season, I didn't know what else to depend on, besides the truth in God's Word, the time that I got to spend in prayer, the time that I got to spend in community at the church, and that was it. That was my foundation, my rock, the only thing that could get me through. And of course, you did a great job, but ultimately God put us through this season, and I felt like I really learned a lot. But also, again, I can't make this clear enough, like, I had nothing else to depend on but God. And there's a phrase that I taught Aubrey when we first started dating. It's not necessarily biblical, but it has a really good principle to it. God got you to it.
He'll get you through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really solid phrase that you shared with me.
What about you?
So a verse that got me through that season, and through a lot of hard seasons in my life, to be honest, was 2 Corinthians 4:16-18. Therefore, we do not lose heart. Even though our outward man is perishing, yet the inward man is being renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So God was really working in us during those times. And with that said, the end of school was also really hard for me. There were some difficult things there. And then on top of that, I had a baby right after I finished school. And that was a whole new season. And then after she was a month old, we moved back to East Texas.
Right. Just real quick to add one more verse that kind of got me through it as well. That just came to my mind. Hebrews 11:8-10. By faith Abraham obeyed when he was called out to go to the place which he would receive an inheritance. And he went out not knowing where he was going. By faith he dwelled in the land of promise, as in a foreign country, dwelling in tents with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he waited for the city which has foundations, whose builder and maker is God. The reason why I bring this verse and it comes to mind during that tough season for us, which we knew was temporary, just like Abraham, he was looking for the eternal kingdom. And what's really cool about this verse, the author of Hebrews makes very, very clear, is Abraham never rooted his tent in the ground. Basically meaning he was always looking for that eternal kingdom. And honestly, during that season, like, I knew no matter what we went through, of course we knew anything God brought us through, he's going to get us through. But at the same time, he's going to give us the things to get through, whether that's people, his word, each other. But I knew that, like, no matter what, I can always look forward to the coming kingdom, which will be eternal versus now, which is temporary in our phase of life.
Yeah, definitely. And so after we moved back to East Texas, I found a job, and not long after that, I got pregnant again, which this time, I can say was definitely unplanned. It was definitely unexpected. But just seeing God's faithfulness in our marriage so far and God's faithfulness with our first child, I was confident that God would provide for this child.
Yeah, we were worried, like, financially, how we're going to do 2. We struggled with 1. And just seeing, like, God basically just making a way for us to nurture his children.
Yeah. But God provided a way. He provided such a way that we bought a house, which is amazing. And then 3 months. 3 months
later, yeah.
Later, after we had our second child, I decided to stay home with the girls.
Which made me feel a lot better, because just having you at home with the girls,
it was a blessing for both of us. And it is hard. It's definitely hard, but it's such a blessing and so sanctifying, and I'm very, very thankful to God for that.
Yeah. So, that's kind of where we started. Honestly, we grew together a lot. And, of course, through the middle of both of us in our marriage, we said this at the beginning, you know, God is with us. He is our foundation.
He is.
And without him in our lives, we wouldn't be who we are and where we are today. So
he's definitely taught us a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this with others. If you enjoy our content, feel free to share our channel with others.
Our next episode, we will be discussing the scariest passage in the Bible. We're also planning a Q&A episode based on your submitted questions. Share your questions in the comments, and we'll answer them in an upcoming show. The questions can be either personal or biblical.
Remember, don't just take it.
Test it.